So thank you very much, Jordan, and a big shout out to Bettina and Mike and Dennis for making this happen and for listening to my pitches over time and finding investing in this. So the pandemic has obviously done a lot, have huge impact. It has also opened our eyes to how things needs to be done or how things can be done differently, and especially from my perspective when it comes to talent and skills development. So I came up with the idea of creating the BioExperience Research and Entrepreneurship Challenge, basically for experiential learning of undergraduate students, but graduate students can also be part of it if they want to. And this comes from many years of me being involved with iGEM and seeing how many of the innovators that are here today, Canada-grown innovators, started out as an iGEM team, and just seeing this at the undergraduate level, how empowering the student-centered experiential learning can be, and how it can really build our next generation of entrepreneurs that has that opportunity-seeking mindset that we need to push forward. We should not teach the techniques that we use in the lab today, because those techniques are going to be obsolete at the next level. We need to educate talent that's able to adapt, able to execute plans. And that's basically what the BioExperience Research and Entrepreneurship Challenge is all about. It's incredibly low cost compared to other models, and it's very low risk depending on regardless of where you come from, both for students, both for our clients, which is industry or community-based partners, as well as our sponsors, which would be like partners like Ontario Genomics or other economic development funding organizations. So I have very little time to do this, and I don't want to take too much time away from the important stuff, so I have way too many slides, way too much text. But basically what the program is about is to take the best of iGEM, which is the student-centered project-based experiential learning, the independent project management and decision-making that's allowed in these projects, which is really where students are learning how to empower themselves and each other in teams. It's fantastic. It works amazingly. There are certain drawbacks with it, obviously, but anybody who's done iGEM knows that there are challenges with that model. But that's why the organization behind this program is providing that coaching and the team help with maintaining social cohesion and those sort of things on a weekly basis and setting goals and direction. Beyond iGEM, iGEM was fantastic in galvanizing the community between 2007 to 2015 about, right? But that was a global community. They built a global community, a global interest in it, but iGEM has the deficiencies that there's no local connection. There's very few engagement with local companies and even with local academics. So it's very isolated from the regional environment and more focused on interacting on a global scale. So in this program is taking in projects, real-world projects from industry and community partners that are challenges that is relevant to these organizations or these partners. It also provides a financial stability for undergraduates, which iGEM does, and it costs very expensive to participate. And in this program, I'm really insisting on the majority of students that participate are paid full-time. And the reason for that is we have so much talent that I wouldn't say waste, but that have to go out and do summer jobs in really mediocre positions where they don't really get challenge skill development because they have financial obligations. Like, we should have programs that are not only for the ones that can secure scholarships or get paid for their parents, right? We have a lot of students that are really struggling financially. So getting that full week, 16-week of employment paid employment is incredibly important to release that creativity and that talent. You can't be creative if you don't know how to get money to pay for food or your rent. It's impossible. You cannot train in that environment, right? So that's the best of that. And so it's the program has a like iGEM. For those of you who don't know iGEM, it's about 8 months. iGEM is a little bit longer, but the program timeline involves 2 stages. So there's this low intensity preparation period. And that involves our industry client, our community partner, which we just call the client, to submit a project idea. And typically these will target the things that you as a company, as a partner, you don't have time to do yourself, like third or fourth priority down your long list of things that need to be done. They can be a marketing analysis, it can be SOP development, it can be design projects, it can be marketing projects, whatever, surveys. And those are submitted, and then we formulate, we recruit a team lead to take that idea and come up with a project outline. And then the team lead, which is also a student, then participate in hiring other students and building up the team that will address this challenge. And then the second period is the high intensity work period. This is where students will work full time for 16 weeks, and they will develop the deliverables and strategies to address the challenge on their own, with support, of course. They will work on, also get support by workshops and talent skills development courses, about equivalent to a three credit academic course. And then at the end, toward August, the last part is the teams will develop, to refine their deliveries and present their accomplishments. So the way the model works is that we have two nonprofit organizations, BioGroup, which is sort of taking on the lead, which is I'm representing, and then BioTalent Canada. BioTalent Canada provides up to $7,000 per student in rate subsidy. Then we have our sponsors, like Ontario Genomics is one of our sponsors this year. University of Ottawa, where this first started, they gave me committed to, together with BioTalent Canada, to $600,000 in order to provide experiential learning for our co-op program when a pandemic completely decimated the ability to students to go out in the community. And then, of course, we have our clients, which is anybody who has an interesting problems that is relevant to the bioeconomy, and clients can provide salary support. So one I want to highlight is a yeast genome engineering challenge that we're addressing this year, and it's basically pathway engineering in yeast in both cerevisiae and Lipolytica. And what we want to be able to do with this challenge is that we want to provide Forest City as our client with the SOPs that will allow students coming in or entrepreneurs coming in to Forest City Synbio to develop their own yeast pathway, the crude prototype of their engineered yeast in about 6 to 8 weeks. That's our goal. And that's why we have 6 amazing students. Kira is here, Tarek is here, Kathleen is here, and Ontario Genomics decided to, thank you very much, to help this and created the Ontario Genomics Synthetic Biology Training Awards to support these students. And this was very targeted funding. So if you're a sponsor, you can actually decide who you want to employ. And here it was really important to Ontario Genomics that at least half of the students would be outside of University of Ottawa, like really separated from my employer, and also that the award would go to underrepresented students, female in STEM, visual minorities, persons with disabilities, or indigenous persons. And of course, Forest City Synbio is also great in supporting this and providing lab space and mentorship for these student teams. So this, I just want to reiterate, it's a low-cost, low-risk learning programs that have very many benefits depending on where you're coming from. And I suggest that you go to our website and just look at some of it. I'm a nonprofit, right? So this is a Google site that I made. So please, right? So 96.5% of our money goes to pay student salary. Okay. So I don't have it's not fancy. It's basically, I've been sitting my summer in my basement all year doing this stuff, right, to make this happen. So, and I really hope this will galvanize the community and provide some of that training that can accelerate and create the next generation of FredSense or Hyacinth to move forward.